Hello there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to another TGIF Talks, episode 91. I'm joined by my co-host, Anonymous Phil.
Hi.
Roll the intro. Goodbye.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
And they're always glad you came.
These podcasts are broken down into 4 parts. First, we have how our week's been, followed by the news, followed by your comments, followed by a random 4th topic. Today's 4th topic is, what would your last meal be? So, what have you been doing the last weeks?
Working?
Working. Anything interesting at work?
No.
I told you about what happened at work Wednesday, right? But
Oh, a car?
the crash. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say probably too much since I was there. I just wasn't present when it happened. I was upstairs eating lunch, so I can't give as much information as I'd like to. However, big news is my tax return came in and I've already burned most of it.
Most. Well, what percentage would you say you have burned?
It's still like over 100. So it's still over like $500 more than that, like $600.
That's not counting the trip, right?
That's including the trip.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. Including the trip, yeah. Left, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I meant.
Give or take. Might only be of like 500 because just of the way things worked out. Either way, doesn't really matter. It's all going to get put into a savings account, and then in April I get paid an extra $500 because of the way things work out. That'll also get thrown in there. So either way, the trip is paid for either from this next page, either from the paycheck in April or just from this.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think more is left than I'm really giving it credit for because I bought groceries and gas after getting it.
Yeah.
And so I actually have more in the account than I would have said to have anyways. So it's yeah. Point is, it's been very
Actually,
nice.
Do you, oh wait, no, you get paid on the 15th and 30th.
Yep.
I was just going to say, I'm kind of looking forward to this month because I get paid every 2 weeks on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I get paid April 1st.
Yeah.
April 1st is a Friday. There's 3 Fridays in the month of April.
Wow.
Or 3 pay period Fridays in the month of April, which means that I will have an extra paycheck that I will not need to spend.
We both get an extra paycheck in April. Wow.
Because
And I won't be spending mine on a woman this time.
Because
thank
typically
God.
I live off of 2 paychecks a month.
Yep.
Well, I'll get an extra paycheck that I can just throw into savings and it'll be like, yep, this paycheck's for the trip or another.
So I guess does that happen like twice a year then?
Yeah.
Because I was just because like I get it 4 times a year. I get it in January, I get it in April, and then I get it 3 months.
Yeah, because there's 20s.
Why can't they just pay us every other week like Menards? I will never know. Well, I mean Menards pays you every week, but why can't they just pay you every other week like every other company? I
Yeah.
don't
So
know.
yeah. So there's 12 months in a year. So if you get paid every 2 weeks, that's 24. And then wait, what am I doing?
I don't know what you're doing. That's twice per month.
I meant to say 12 times 48. 12 times 2
24.
is 24. And then 24 times 2, because every 2 weeks is 48. There's 52 weeks in a year.
Yep.
So you're 4 weeks short,
Mhm.
which means that there'll be 2 months in which you get an extra paycheck.
Yes, sir.
And I think this year it's April and July.
Oh,
Because I think it happens again in July,
that's not very well balanced.
where July has an extra Friday. You can see April. You can see it's 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then July, if it works out right.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Fourth on a Monday.
It just has to fall on that first one.
Ooh, 3
And then
days.
actually, it's possible to have a third, because I think it happened last year. It's not going to happen for a while though. But last year, we got a page. We had three months, because the month of December, it just so happened that that we got paid on the. It depends what week in January you start out at. Because I think if you have it if you have it happen, such that you get a paycheck in January, if January is your 3 month, then I think December also works as a 3 month on top of another.
Well, anyways, with my company, you just get paid twice a month, and then once per quarter, you get an extra half of your paycheck.
Oh.
So that'd be an extra week added on.
Oh,
your
and
paycheck.
so the quarter is April.
Yes.
Because it's what,
Or at
January,
least just
February, March?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
very exciting. The last time
April will be an exciting month.
last time it got spent on a woman.
Mm.
In theory, this time it won't. You never know how the universe works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
But in theory, it will be shoved into the savings account, and it won't be pulled back out until May.
Yes.
Well, that's not a very long period of time.
So it'll be in the account for a month.
For like about a month.
It'll be in the account for a month.
Not very long.
Will you even get interest on that?
It's monthly, I think.
See, that's the thing about interest, is that, they always say, "Oh, put your money in a savings account and get more interest." Well, you do get more interest. However,
I get interest, period.
I get more interest. I get interest more often in the checking account.
I don't get interest in my checking account, so.
Oh, shame. Could I get interest every month?
But you have to have a minimum balance, don't you?
I think it's from 0 to 2,000. So every range is a new bracket. It's more. If it in the long term, it's better to have it in the savings account, because the savings account is equal to like the maximum amount in the checking.
Mm-hmm. I guess the one drawback.
So having it in the checking account, I get like 20 cents a month, something like that.
It's nice that, that they offer that. Issue is, and another reason why I'm sticking with the bank that I have, is that the bank I have is a bit bigger than both the banks that I work at and the bank that you bank with. So that I have more ATMs and other branches to visit than you do, or the bank that I work at. Which is why, no matter, even if they do offer more, that I can use ATMs if need be, which honestly I feel like is a bit better.
Actually,
It's also why I didn't get
the thing
credit
about
limit.
ATMs though is, my bank doesn't charge a fee for ATMs, but if that ATM charges a fee, then I would get charged.
Right. So basically, any ATM that's not Cornhusker will charge.
Yeah, but I guess Cornhusker does not have a fee on top of that, because I think there are some banks. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I thought there were some banks who have a fee for taking your card to another ATM that's not there.
I think the bank I work at has that.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
I've only used a foreign ATM once. Oh, no, I guess 2 or 3 times. But it was all in Spain. And, oh my gosh, it's some hefty fees. Because it's in a whole other country. It's not my own bank. And it needs to get transferred from dollars to euros.
They were just like,
why
don't you go to Walmart?
Money.
Should have just gone to Walmart.
Yeah.
Oh, Walmart.
Wait, to buy stuff or wait to
No, to get the money.
Wait, how do you go to Walmart? Wait, Walmart has euros?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you can go get foreign cash at Walmart.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Or just or
Well, I think
if you're going overseas, just open up a Wells Fargo checking account and then problem solved.
Oh, they have Wells Fargos in other countries?
Wells Fargo is one of the world's largest banks, if not the world's largest bank.
I see.
So
they did not have a Wells Fargo in the city I lived in.
Walmart. Walmart.
They didn't have a Walmart either.
Oh.
What did they have?
They don't have Walmarts in
They don't
Europe.
have Walmart. No. I forget what they had. They had their own thing. About like the only American stuff they have is like McDonald's.
Can you go to McDonald's? Can I convert my dollars to hamburgers to euros, please?
They actually have some Spanish cuisine though as their appetizers.
Yes, but I mean, you go to McDonald's in Spain. You're like, can I convert my dollars to hamburgers to euros, please?
Yes. Yes. No. So you have to buy burgers here, go to Spain, then return the burgers in Spain for euros.
You know, the world makes fun. You know, the world's just like, what is it? Europeans using the metric system, Americans using hamburgers per bald eagle, and here we are using hamburgers as currency.
Hamburgers per bald eagle. What?
And now here we are.
I saw a measurement like that the other day.
Oh, they were measuring a deer. They were measuring a deer in a textbook, and they were using playing cards. And they're like, Americans will use anything but the metric system to measure things.
What was it? Oh my gosh. The other day, my roommate and I were reading some news thing or whatever, something that happened in the news. And they had the most obscure unit I could have ever thought of. Like, what? Oh, it was giraffes. How was it?
Giraffes per acre?
Giraffes. What was it? What was it?
Were they using them as a unit of length?
They were using it as a unit of size. And basically, it's like, what? A giraffe. Like, I could imagine something like being the size of a car. A car is like a box. You know? Like, a giraffe is tall. But, like, when do I see a giraffe? Much less see an object in the shape of a giraffe.
Plus, what kind of giraffe are we talking about here? There's different types of giraffes.
Yes. No, I don't even think it was one giraffe. It was a half a giraffe. What was this article I was reading? Oh my, it was the weirdest thing. But they measured it in a half of a giraffe.
I couldn't just... Why?
Literally. It was that... What was it?
Cow. Just measuring. Anyways, in America, we don't use the metric system. We use hamburgers per bald eagle, per glazed donut.
What is this? Yes! This is what it was!
Half the size of a giraffe?
Asteroid hits the Earth half the size of a giraffe. Where is this article?
That would...
It wasn't on Reddit though. It was like an actual legit Daily Mail. This is how you know it's the weirdest thing.
Issue.
Asteroid half the size of a giraffe strikes Earth off the coast of Iceland. What is this unit? Asteroid so am I supposed to... Alright, I can imagine an asteroid the size of a car. I drive a car every day. I can imagine something the size of a house. That's a pretty big asteroid, if I may say so myself.
That's a...
Now let's imagine a giraffe for a second. A giraffe!
I can't imagine a giraffe.
Now, is this asteroid in the shape of a giraffe?
Apparently.
How is this asteroid shaped?
How do you split the...
Is this like the volume of a giraffe? So do I have to melt down the giraffe and then say, alright, this is the volume of a giraffe?
So it's the size of half a car.
Exactly. And not even a full giraffe, a half of a giraffe.
That's why I said half a car.
Exactly. The weirdest thing I've ever seen. And of course it comes from the Daily Mail.
Well, there's the issue.
Never trust something from the Daily Mail.
Well, this is America, kids, where we don't use the metric system.
We measure things in half the size of a giraffe.
Or in anything but the metric system.
Yes.
But who else went to the moon? America.
America.
America!
Countries that use the metric system.
Everyone.
Countries that have been to the moon. See, the thing is, I say countries that have been to the moon. Why is Burma not highlighted? They don't use the metric system.
They didn't go to the moon.
But they're blue. Wait, yeah. So if I do,
They'd just be grayed out. There you go. It's a very common thing.
this one. This is the one.
Where's Burma?
Exactly. It's over here by India. But why don't they highlight
Well,
them?
it's too small of a country. Nobody cares.
They don't use the metric systems. They just have their own color.
Well, Liberia is also in.
So is it this one?
No, that's just telling you how screwed up England is.
See, Myanmar and Liberia.
Liberia.
Liberia. They don't use the metric system, but yet
Wait, there are two types of countries: those that use the metric system to land on the moon, and those who haven't been to the moon. We use the metric system to land on the moon, but we don't use the metric system. It's would you look at that? It's your country's flag. Oh wow, okay, that's kind of mean. Anyways, yeah. Anyways,
no, they should have done something along the lines of, countries that have been to the moon, countries that try to land on Mars using the metric system, and then they reference, was it the rover that crashed because they used both.
Yeah.
They used both, and then something wasn't synced up right, and it was like, yeah, let's go 100 miles an hour straight into the rocks of Mars before deploying the parachute.
Yeah, small issue there. Only 100 miles an hour?
I don't know. I made that up.
No. See, this is going to be kind of sadistic here. So now there's countries that use the metric system and can't launch a rover because their only other country that can launch it is a country that uses the metric system, but that country invaded another country. The EU wants to launch a rover that they made with Russia, but Russia made the launch system. So here we are in this weird circumstances where it's like, oh, you can't even go to Mars. Oh, what a thing. What I don't understand is why don't they just call up the U.S. and have us do the launches? I mean, why Europe just doesn't call the U.S. like, can we use your rockets? It's like, we have rockets to launch stuff. Mm-hmm. We've got the most powerful rocket in the world. We've got the second most. We have 3 of the most powerful rockets in the world. SLS, Super Heavy, and the Heavy, Starship, I should say, and then Falcon Heavy. Mm-hmm. The 3 most powerful rockets in the world, and we probably have the 4th one.
Wait, is that the Falcon? That's the BFR.
That's Starship.
Oh, Starship is the BFR.
Yeah. Anyways, we have the 3 largest rockets in the world. We can do whatever you want. We also have one of the best rockets in the world. Not the Soyuz, the Atlas, but those use Russian motors. So bit of an issue. But anyways, the metric system people, they're screwed. We're getting to the news here. Oh, wait, did we? Oh, right. Okay. News segment time. We trickled into the news there for a minute. Speaking of the news, stupid asteroid size of giraffe bullcrap. Anyways, we're trying to figure. Oh, you guys can't see this. So we're trying to figure out what to do for our news, and not much happened. We kind of looked at this one, but Phil was like, I don't understand enough to fully talk on it enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, fair enough. Oh, this one was super cool. Okay, so yeah. So I was always, I wondered, how do they figure out, the different layers of the sun? acoustics.
Hmm.
And that's what this whole thing was about. It showed up on my thing. They're like, these waves are traveling faster than we thought. So I'm like, oh, so the sun is denser than you thought or something. So yeah, they're using acoustics to measure what's inside the sun. So the sun makes noise, apparently. Anyways, well, Dr. Becky over here.
Well, I mean, everything makes... I mean, you did a video a long time ago on, how loud the sun is.
That was converting watts of light energy
to decibels.
Yeah.
Did you even... I don't even think you gave a number.
Yeah, I give a rough estimate. It was loud.
It was loud.
Yeah. Well, I wanted... So the thing was, I wanted to... I wanted to compare it to the laser. But the issue was I needed to know... I thought I put that on silent. But there was something about... Oh my god. I thought I put it... something about with the laser. I need a certain instrument. And I don't remember if I was trying to measure the wavelength or if I was trying to measure the wattage or if a combination. It might have been the wavelength. I was trying to get the specific wavelength. And then I think I wanted to measure like the specific wavelength of like a lamp or something. Point is, so I could get those readouts and then I could calculate how loud is a lamp,
A lamp. Yeah, speaking of which, this is very annoying.
Yeah, so I don't know. There was something about that. But anyways, so Dr. Becky actually, so she discussed JDOST in the image and like how, so this was kind of cool actually.
When you need a hand, guidance, or resources, Home Care Partners are here.
I already watched an ad for this.
Times 2
Okay, so she's talking about like how small. What can the JWST microscope?
I've never seen this before. A comma to separate decimals.
She's British.
Is that what they do?
Yes, they're freaking weird.
What?
Yes, that's what they do overseas. They're freaking weird. They use periods, God forbid, to separate everything else out. But when it comes to decimals, they use commas. Like what backwards country?
They like I don't know if this is in meters or what this is in, but they literally could have put 2 micrometers or whatever it is, 2 micro, or 2 times 10 to the negative 6.
Well, you leave a comment. You tell Dr. Becky.
I mean, if you don't want to, I don't know what the units are, but just call it 2 micro. That'd be more understandable.
So that would be the wavelength of light. So micrometers.
Yeah, so it is meter. 2 micrometers.
Yeah, because you're turning to radians. This is like
and you're dividing by 6.5 meters.
Yeah, that's the diameter of the telescope. Oh. So they're calculating what's the smallest thing at that wavelength that they can see. Mm-hmm. And so like, it's interesting. So Hubble has a better granularity, has a better fine detail in the visible light spectrum than JWST has in like these 2 micrometer wavelengths of the infrared light. However, when we get into the near infrared, so we're actually like into the reds and oranges. Reds and oranges. JWST is far more precise than Hubble.
And I guess...
But Hubble can't see in those larger wavelengths. So, but no one else can either.
The CMB, what wavelength is that in? Is that in the near infrared?
The CMV?
CMB, cosmic microwave background.
Well, that's in microwaves. That's going to be literally in like...
Oh, microwave. Oh, wait. Oh, they're doing infrared. Well, why are they looking at infrared? What do they look... Oh, is that what...
That's the period between the cosmic microwave background and the first... they're trying to look at the first visible light.
From black holes or the stars?
The galaxies.
Galaxies.
The first visible light from galaxies and stars.
And those are in the infrared?
Yeah, because of the stretching of space-time.
Yes.
And they're very, very dim, which is why it has to be such a large telescope.
Yes.
So I think in the future we could definitely build an even bigger one to see those. But like it's interesting. I started thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, you need that's why radio telescopes have to be so large. But then I'm like, but a radio telescope can also be huge. So like, radio telescope's interesting. It has to be big because of how big the waves are to get the same granularity. But it can be huge because it's just metal. It doesn't have to be glass. It doesn't have to reflect visible and infrared light. It just has to reflect radio waves.
Which is still light.
So we get better resolution with radio telescopes, even though they're so much larger wavelengths. But because we can make the thing basically as big as we want, it doesn't matter.
We're also building it on Earth.
Yes. I think we should turn the moon into a radio telescope. Except when we point it at the sun, it will just get fried.
No, we just build all 7. We build a radio telescope, an infrared telescope, a microwave telescope, a visible lights telescope. You know, that way when you want to take a vacation to the moon sometime, you know. A nice little visible light telescope. I mean, I don't know. I can't particularly see in the ultraviolet. But then they put a UV telescope there, an X-ray telescope, and a gamma ray telescope.
Why?
Why not? Because you can't really make one size fits all. You make one telescope that just focuses on that spectrum.
Which is what we do.
Yes, but we don't have any on the moon.
But the moon's useless. We just L2
the dark side of the
better.
moon.
But the dark side of the moon faces the sun.
Only during a new moon.
Which is several days long.
So you get 2 weeks during well, no, not quite 2 weeks. You get about a solid week during the full moon of 24/7 darkness.
That's not enough. When I can just put it L2 and have constant darkness.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget. You were forgetting the other thing we can measure. We can actually look at the universe in now, too.
Well, the only reason why...
Gravitational waves.
Well, the only reason why L2 is complete darkness is because the sun is so far away.
Oh, no. It doesn't... the sun
no, it doesn't even matter. No, it doesn't matter. Because you can just block it out. The telescope is behind the shield.
We can't do that on the moon, though.
You can.
When the sun is here and I'm trying to measure, well, where the sun is, I want to look at the stars, but the sun is in the way.
So you block out the sun, and so you can only really look up.
Yeah, no, that's kind of useless.
And there'd probably still be a glare.
Yes, especially if we're trying to do infrared. And then radio, the amount of noise.
Oh, well.
No, we're building this at L2. Although, I like the shield, see, that's the thing though, a space radio telescope, how would you'd have to, literally build it, 2 sides. So, one side is the dish that gathers, and the other side is literally a Faraday cage. It has to be the same size, if not bigger than the actual dish.
No, I'd say we just make a 10-year mission and send a big, giant radio telescope to Pluto.
So we could then theoretically have a dish the size of the solar system, so half a light
Well, it
year?
could be the size of Pluto if we wanted.
That's useless. We have a telescope that's technically the size of the Earth.
The Earth?
That's the New Horizons telescope.
What do you mean the size of the Earth?
You don't know how that works?
No.
So like you can shoot a telescope with a gun, like a visible light telescope.
Yes, and you'll probably damage it in the process.
Well, yes.
If I take a gun and shoot it on my telescope, it's done for.
No, it's not. So like.
What do you mean no?
No. So there's a telescope in Texas that got shot in this very same process. All right.
If I take a bullet and shoot it at my telescope, the mirror will shatter.
So no, because it didn't shatter the mirror.
What?
It didn't. It just embedded itself in there. Well, because of how big the mirror is, even though we're missing a few spots, the math works out to where we lost, 0.1% of our resolution? So it's still a good telescope, despite the fact that it has a bullet hole in it.
You're saying if I took a bullet, held it up here to the mirror, and fired it, the bullet would not shatter the mirror.
Why are we this close? I don't remember how close the guy was. It's Texas. Who knows what the kind of crap
I'm saying
that goes on.
hold up a gun and hold it this close to the mirror, fire, I think it'll completely shatter the mirror.
Well, it didn't.
There's no mirror left.
Well, it didn't shatter the mirror, and the mirror still works. And up until like the last few decades, it was like one of the prime visible light telescopes to use. Ground-based anyways.
Yeah.
Point is, that's that same math that we can get around bullet holes is the same math we can use to calculate the resolution using when we're doing a radio telescope the size of the Earth.
A radio telescope?
The size of the Earth.
But it's not built the size of the Earth.
No, but because of the way the things add up in the math, it is like having one the size of the Earth. And so, if we put one in space, we now increase our radius even more, and we can have an even more powerful telescope. So, you put one at Pluto, it's going to be kind of funky because, well, you have to be lined up with Pluto just right. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, but the sun's a long ways away.
Right, but at Pluto
you can practically be looking at stuff at the sun.
But at Pluto, you might be close enough to freaking Alpha Centauri. You'll start getting
what?
I'm joking. Imagine
Voyager is still closer to the sun than Alpha Centauri.
It's a joke. Point is, start getting close to other things that make noise, like Planet X.
Yes, we can finally discover Planet X.
Well, not with a radio telescope. with JWST, maybe. Or the extremely large telescope, maybe. Won't that be exciting? And we'll just figure it out that it's just a discrepancy in the data.
Yeah.
Except for what? So no, was a discrepancy? Was a discrepancy in the wobble of the sun, or was it a discrepancy in the way that we saw asteroids moving in the Kuiper Belt?
I don't know.
Because like, if it's the wobble of the sun, I understand. But the asteroids in the
But I
Kuiper
think
Belt.
the wobble though with the asteroids though was the air. Like they managed to calculate it somehow.
Huh? How do you calculate a hole in the Kuiper Belt that appeared every so often?
I don't know. I thought I remember reading something where it was like
you miscalculate that?
I don't know.
Well, anyways, very interesting. Becky just talks about the resolution, how they calculate that, which I thought was very interesting.
Well, I think it was like they're making assumptions and stuff, and based on the assumptions made the error large enough that if you disregard them, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So, Becky was talking about...
so this is, 17 different stars of the same star?
But no, this is the Hubble Deep Field.
Oh, so this is the correct picture.
What? So, this is...
Oh!
Well, look.
Because wait. Wasn't you showed me some picture?
Right.
Where I was like, look at it. We got 17 stars of the same star.
Right. That was its first picture. This is the latest calibration, and it's perfectly focused now. And they're talking about this is like 2,100 seconds of exposure, and we're getting galaxies that we couldn't see in like the Hubble Deep Field. I mean,
Wait,
it isn't
so
in the
what
same
is this
spot.
one?
No, this isn't in the same spot. But like
Oh.
she's saying though, these galaxies we couldn't see before, even with the Hubble, and the Hubble had 100,000 seconds of exposure, which just shows how much more sensitive JWST is. Also, this star is not visible to the human eye. Here on Earth, even the darkest spots.
I can see it.
Well, gee, you're looking through a $10 billion telescope. I'd hope so.
I see it right there, sir.
Anyways, so yeah. Dr. Becky is our only source of news, but she only brought news that we already kind of knew about. Oh, there's also some guys that were talking about, oh no, it's just another freaking ad. I need to get ad-free. Anyways, now she's talking about linking relativity and quantum mechanics. And so the big thing was black holes, and they're like, the information can't be lost in black holes.
Oh, yeah, I told you, right?
What?
The acronym.
What acronym?
Have I never showed this to you?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Showing me an acronym. What's the acronym about?
So you have general relativity, which is just GR. Then you have quantum field theory. General relativity, quantum field theory. But really, if you were to combine all this into one acronym, it really just says, God recommends quit effing trying.
Ah, there you go. Quit freaking trying. I get it. I see what God's saying here, but piss off. We found hairy. We're gonna look at hairy black holes. So, like, anyways, so using quantum things, black holes do retain the information, but it's at distances so small and so close to the event horizon that we will never actually be able to prove whether this theory is correct. So basically, this theory they came up with to link special relativity and quantum mechanics.
Yeah, string
There's
theory.
no, this is something else. This is just I mean,
loop quantum. No.
well, no,
Loop quantum gravity.
this is just talking about how black holes work on the quantum level because information can't be destroyed, but black holes, where's the information going? What's happening to it? And these guys are saying, well, right close to the event horizon, a black hole is very hairy. And that information, and in there, that contains the information of all the atoms the black hole has consumed. But, unfortunately, there's no way for us to ever measure it because it's too close to the black hole and you will be turned to spaghetti before you can actually get any measurements. Sadly.
Yeah.
So, RIP. So kids, just like he said, God says quit freaking trying. You might have to stop trying because the only way to really prove it with the current things is go find a black hole and hope you don't turn to spaghetti, which impossible at these distances, but, good luck. Good luck. You're going to fail. But good luck. Anyways, your comments.
Really?
There might be comments. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see here. There's welcome back.
Well, I watched that video. We didn't have Will in it.
No, because he didn't want. He's like, I'm too busy.
He's too busy to do something.
He's too busy for 3 seconds to come on here, and he's like, well, when am I gonna have to do this? And I'm
Wait,
like,
he literally stood out and talked to us for 10 minutes yesterday.
yep. No, but he's like, But he's like, but the
And
thing is like,
and he had time to build a birdhouse.
but the thing is like, that you broke. Anyways, no, but he's too lazy to then go and do the thing with us, like whatever he said he would do. And so, anyways, get this to 1 million views. You should all go watch that video. Well, I guess I can show you. Go watch this video. Get to 1 million views.
Right.
Woohoo! Anyways, Team
Wait,
Dinsier
what?
commented. What?
Phil is the most mental.
Apparently, running a marathon is the most insane one on here. Congratulations.
The most insane one. Not driving like a conservative flag
No.
or a liberal flag.
A bunch of liberal stuff through conservative Nebraska.
Getting exorcism.
Getting an exorcism.
Taking 100 shots of beer.
In 100 minutes? No. Marathon.
To be fair, though, mine will take more time because Kyle, his is one and done. He goes in, he's in and out. Who's his? I don't remember their names.
Buck or Rooster? Which one are you talking about? Which
Rooster?
which event?
Oh, the beer.
Rooster.
I mean, that's just going to be one awful next day. I mean, it'll probably be pretty enjoyable for about the first... one... For
You can't
100
pee
minutes.
during it.
You can't pee?
Nope, you can't pee during it.
Why?
That's the rules.
That's another rule?
Yep.
Well, yeah. But anyways...
The watermelon is also an alcoholic, so him do 100 shots of beer is an average... it's an average night.
But it's not the water bottle that's in it.
No. It's Rooster, so...
Is he an alcoholic?
Rooster?
Does he drink alcohol?
Rooster, yes.
Oh, he does. So he has some tolerance.
Right, but I mean, he's not like the water bottle whose liver is probably about to burst into flames at any moment.
Interesting.
From the methanol, from the
But
ethanol
yeah,
fumes.
see, mine will take a good
6 months.
6 months for sure.
I was going to say, doesn't it take 6 months for the average person to train for a marathon?
Someone who's probably never ran. Yeah. For me, since I haven't not ran in like 5 years.
Last time you ran was to Kansas.
Yeah. No, we raced in Mullen.
Oh, we did. That's right.
Yeah.
Gave you a head start.
Yeah. my tiny legs just can't go for very fast.
Yeah, I gave you a nice head start, and I was just... That was interesting.
But yeah, that'll be one awful day for me too, and one awful 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Except for
You start out easy, doing probably 3 miles a day, 3-4 miles a day. Slowly ease it up to 7 to 10. And the thing is, when training a marathon, at least from what I've heard, you never actually really run the full distance, ever. I think the longest run people will do is like 20 miles.
which is almost the length of the marathon, but you're still
Almost.
6 miles short.
Yes. But see, the majority of it is just training and endurance, because a lot of it is just endurance training. And you don't need to really run the full thing to get the endurance training because of the other things you can do along with it.
Do you remember, did you ever watch a video about the first Olympics in America?
No?
It was a disaster.
Was that 1906?
I don't remember, but a lot of people died. Actually, like, hardly anybody completed the marathon. Because the road was filled with dust. And the dust was getting into people's lungs. And it would just kill them.
Oh, my God.
It's just... Well, maybe they didn't die, but the
1904 Olympics.
it was a rough Olympics. The cross country running killed a lot. It hurt a lot of people. There wasn't enough water. They didn't give you any water.
No water?
Nope.
Wait, where is...
The paths were not well defined. The guy who won it, I think, ran it in like boots.
What?
He was just wearing like boots and like pants. This is how rough this event is. I think he like dropped dead after completing it. Yep.
Men's marathon. Poor organization.
Yep. It was rough. Yeah, it was a rough thing.
Is that a wagon?
So like so you had people running, and then you had people driving with cars in front of them, but the cars would kick up dust, and then the dust would get in the lungs of the runners, and then and then the runners would have to stop running because there was dust in their lungs.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 3 hours, 13 minutes. Yeah, so no, he cheated. The guy who won cheated.
What?
Yeah, he got in a car and drove.
Wait. Thomas Hicks ended up winning the event. 10 miles from the finish, he led the race by 1.5 miles, but had to be restrained from stopping. He could barely walk.
Oh yeah, they were giving everybody rat poison as this freaking medicine. I forgot about that.
He lost 8 pounds during the marathon? How much water there is?
Yep, clouds of dust kicked up in the race by the official race with the race officials' cars. It was a rough race.
A Cuban postman arrived at the last minute, had not eaten in 40 hours, stepped off in an orchard to have a snack on some apples, which turned out to be
and they killed him. The apples caused them strong stomach cramp. Light on taking nap despite falling for the ill app. Oh, no, never mind. Never mind, I thought he died. He did.
The guy who ate rotten apples, 4th place.
This race, I got it.
This sounds like a meme, like something somebody made up.
It's not. It's all true. It all happened. You'll have to. I think it was Thoughty2 or whatever.
I've heard of that YouTuber. Yeah.
He made the video about it. Oh my god. Dehydration.
Wait. 9th and 12th. This was a disappointment. Many observers. Tao could have done better if he had not been chased for nearly a mile by wild dogs.
Yes, the wild dogs one.
A mile of wild dogs.
Yes.
There are only 2 sources of water. A water tower at 6 miles and a well at 12 miles. And they decided to only allow 1 water station. On the 24.8, it wasn't even a full marathon.
No, it was.
Doesn't it say 24.8?
At the very top, it said 28.
Wait, what?
Oh, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't a full marathon either.
Because it had to cut it short, I think.
It was in 90 degree heat.
Yeah, it was a rough time.
Purposeful dehydration.
Yeah, it was to make them run faster. Yes, the slowest winning time. I think that might have been the title of the video. I don't remember. We'll have to look it up after this and watch the video. It's hilarious.
Oh my god.
It is a fantastic video.
Did not finish.
A lot of people.
Wait, no, this is did not start. These people just didn't even yeah, no, I'm out.
They saw the officials' cars start driving with the dust, and they're like, I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm done. I'm not here.
Done.
Nope. I'm good. They saw the dust, and they're like, I'm good.
And they had unknown deaths. They call it unknown because they probably could have finished. It's not like they didn't finish.
No,
it's
that's
not like they
their time.
gave up. It's like it's unknown because they died, so they don't know what the time would have been. They don't know if they would have finished or not, if they would have gave up. These people just gave up. These people didn't give up. Their bodies gave up, but they didn't mentally give up.
The greatest marathon ever.
So we have 4 finishing times.
Yes. Anyways.
Wait, what is this? What is DSQ? Is he disqualified or something?
Yeah, that's the guy that cheated, remember?
Oh, yeah.
He's got in a car.
Disqualified or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got in a car, remember?
He got in a car. Rode. Yeah, I'm here, guys. I've been running the whole time.
Woo!
He won.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got in a car. Yes, the 1904 Olympics. What a great time. Anyways, okay, we're supposed to be reading comments. I think there are more comments.
Oh yeah, because it
potentially.
said Phil is the most mental.
Yeah, and we started talking about the marathon. Let me take a look here. Maybe that is all the comments. Let me take a look. Waiting for pizza. Yes, wasting my life. Okay. Why do we like science? TGIF Talks 80. Obi-Wan Kenobi commented. Thank you, Obi-Wan. Nice video. Thank you, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Thank you.
Anyways, go to the gaming channel here. Iron Farm Bedrock Let's Play 19. Oli Ding Z commented, nice video. Well, thanks.
Nice video.
There was another comment. Somebody left a comment that was very, very nice. I gotta find it. Oh, Ryan. Oh, love the vids. No, it wasn't Ryan. It was somebody else. Maybe it was this one? Potentially? Ah, yes. Zany Bree commented, just here to remind you to never give up on your dreams, and you'll make it big one day. I believe in you and love you. Well, thank you, Zany Bree. I don't know who you are.
I love you.
But thank you. You haven't watched. No one's even watched this video, so I don't know how much you actually love these videos. But whatever.
They have no watch time.
Not gonna say anything. You know, just accepting it, and that's all the comments pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah. News segment time. The fourth topic.
Fourth topic.
Yes. What would be your last meal? No meme ones like, oh, children or some bull crap like that.
Children?
Yeah, so they can't kill you because you can't give you your last meal. Or something stupid like that. They're like, what would be like genuinely like, what would be your genuine last meal? Price is no object here.
Price is no object. Oh. See, my favorite food is pizza. Pizza's good. Italian food's pretty good. But if I had one meal. Burgers are also really good.
Burgers are very good.
Get some $500. See, that's the thing. You know, if money was an object, I'd want like an actual quality $300 burger. Because I don't want something that's just been flaked in edible gold flakes to drive up the price.
Right.
There's no flavor in that. At least I don't know. I don't think there would be. I want something that's actually like, you know, like, it's just that good of a meat, you know?
Okay.
Like an Angus prime that had
Well, you don't want to get Wagyu hamburger because it's too fatty.
Oh.
It's not. It doesn't make good hamburger.
Yeah. Well, Too fatty, yeah. Because when you ground it up.
Then you
But
cook it,
anyways,
and
yeah,
it's like there's
I'd want
nothing left.
I don't know, either just some classic American meal, a juicy burger, pizza. But of course, there's so many foods in the world I've not tried that I've never gotten the chance to try. And I don't even know what they are because I've never encountered them.
So I struggled with it as well because I was just like, all right, favorite foods, right?
Favorite foods.
Right. Like,
But it's like you get one, and it's like, you can always go to that classic area, favorite food, that's your last meal.
but I can't decide on one food is my favorite because I love pizza. Pizza is just, it's my life, it's my bread. But I love corned beef. But do I want pizza or corned beef to be my last meal? Absolutely, one of the two. But I can't pick between them.
Or classic Totino's.
No.
A classic 80-cent Totino pizza.
No. It'd probably be, I don't know.
Actually, it's more like $1 now.
I can't see. There's another thing. I can't decide between like who would make the pizza. Where would I go to get it, or like would I have it like a homemade thing?
Red Baron.
No. Like, do I want to have like a homemade pizza? But like, I don't know. Because like that's always like a sweeter bread than what you get at at like Pizza Hut, which is like my favorite. So it's like, I don't know. Or a Casey's, but that has a lot of freaking grease. It's good. I don't know.
Casey's breakfast pizza.
Oh, that might be my favorite pizza.
That is pretty damn good.
No. Actually, there was a better breakfast pizza, but you can't get it anymore.
Oh, what was it?
It was the Squeegees at before it became a Super C in Ceresco.
It was really good.
Before they got Valentino's Pizza, they made this breakfast pizza. It was the best breakfast pizza I had ever had, and anywhere else you could get it. Something with the cheese sauce they put in it, it was just, it was fantastic. I don't remember. I think I had it one morning before going to school. I don't remember why. Either like I had to get gas or something, or I don't remember why I went to Ceresco that morning. Maybe I had to go to the bank? I can't remember. Point is, that was some fantastic breakfast pizza. But it's like, do I want breakfast pizza from Casey's or corned beef to be my last meal? What about a good steak? I love steak.
Yeah.
Or a hamburger. I don't know. I can't decide. It's interesting.
All I know is it won't be my cooking. I lack every culinary art technique that there probably is to know.
I will tell you though, excluding the pizza, all of it will have a side of potatoes. Some sort of potato.
I mean, I'm getting better, but it's just, I think part of it is I don't use salt in anything I use.
Not you do I.
And I feel like, from what I've read, salt has flavor. Well, it just makes it salty.
Why don't you get a salt substitute?
But, like what?
Just look up salt substitute. You gotta be careful though. It interacts with heart pills, kind of funky. Some of it.
See, the thing is though, is that supposedly salt helps bring out flavors.
Right.
And so that is the reason why a lot of people use it when cooking. No salt substitute.
Yeah, my mom used no salt. That's what she
So
used.
what is it, garlic? So why not just get real garlic?
Oh,
Or
is that-
lemon juice?
Oh, is that all it is?
Yeah, it's like I could accomplish the same thing by just using real ingredients, like fresh garlic.
Oh, these
Well,
are
hey,
like...
maybe this is what I'll do now. I'll start chopping up some garlic and throwing it in my pasta or something. Because they say, like, throw salt in your pasta water because it helps bring out the flavor more. Lemon juice. It's another option.
Holy crap, that might explain why... I forgot I didn't do salt in my pasta that I had for lunch. And it was not that
Hey,
good.
did you ever figure out how to make your mac and cheese better?
Well, I haven't done it yet. I remember...
'Cause
I went to Mellow Mushroom Friday, so I didn't get the chance.
Because I made, Friday. I made homemade mac and cheese, just boxed macaroni. And then I used a whole bunch of assorted cheeses. It was very bland.
Yep.
It was very, very bland. And I'm really curious to know what they put in the sweeteners.
MSG.
MSG, is that what it is?
I guarantee you it's MSG.
It's because
And it's also dehydrated cheddar powder. And salt. That's literally all that's in there.
MSG and salt. That's what brings out all the flavor.
And cheddar. Dehydrated cheddar.
Because I guess I used mild cheddar, like an actual block that
you gotta get sharp, extra sharp. That's where the most flavor is.
Extra sharp. Well, that's my problem. That's what I'll have to get next time. Extra sharp cheddar. But yeah, it was very bland.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm thinking.
I also didn't use any salt. Maybe I should start using like some garlic or something. A little bit of lemon zest.
Or dill. Ooh.
Dill. Ooh.
Dill sounds interesting.
Dill sounds. Oh, dill with mac and cheese though.
That sounds fantastic. You ever had dill cheese?
No.
You gotta.
Is it good?
You shop at Hy-Vee. You gotta get Yeish's cheese. Get the dill nuggets.
Yeish's cheese dill nuggets.
Yes. It's fantastic.
Where do you find these?
They're at Hy-Vee. No, they're a local brand.
No, what department?
Dairy.
Dairy.
Yeah. You've probably stocked it and didn't even realize it.
What's it called?
Yeish's cheese. They're made in Brainerd. I don't know how to spell it, so.
Yeesh. What is it? Yeesh.
Just look up Brainerd, Nebraska, and then we just look on it in Google. It'll pop up. That's where the plant is.
Nebraska. Yeesh. Cheese. Oh! Oh, is that how you say that? Yeesh?
Yeah.
I always say like Jisa or something.
No.
Yeah, no, I stock that all the time, yeah.
Especially I'm like, you stocked this!
Well, I'd never heard the names pronounced like that. I didn't know that's how you're supposed to say it.
You also probably didn't know it was a Nebraska product.
I didn't know. Well, actually, I don't stock that. That is something that is stocked by the cheese shop because it's a specialty cheese item. It's not like a Hy-Vee or a Kraft because that's all that I stock. This cheese shop stocks all that stuff. But, when I have to face a department, I'd have to pull all the cheeses forward. Mm-hmm. So I literally encounter every single cheese. And I'm like, there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this. And I don't always flip open over the package to see, well, where is this made?
Yep, Brainerd, Nebraska.
Yeah, interesting.
Fantastic cheese. I was a little disappointed this year, though. I bought smoky bacon cheese, which is like one of my favorites they make.
Oh, yeah.
And it was disappointing.
Really?
It didn't taste that good.
Oh.
But their dill never let me down.
Dill.
It's a very subtle flavor. And the dill gets stuck in your teeth, but it's there.
I'll have to try that. It's a little more expensive, but yeah, I'm sure it's probably worth it.
Yes. Careful. You can eat a whole package in one sitting.
Oh my! Oh, good to know. So it's like Dot's pretzels.
Yep, pretty much. Except this won't fill you up. You'll eat the whole package and you'll still be hungry.
Yeah, you eat a whole thing of Dot's pretzels and then you get super, super thirsty. And then...
Says the man trying to avoid salt.
And then you give it about an hour and then you're hungry again.
Oh, yesterday was fantastic, though. So we were eating pizza.
Yeah.
And we were waiting for the one more pizza to cook, and Outback was on the phone. And he goes and picks up my salt shaker. And he thought it was a lid. And he turns it over, and just the salt spills everywhere.
I thought it was a lid.
And I'm just like, oh, here's the man wanting to avoid salt. And it's just...
I mean, my plate was already empty. I'd already eaten all the food on it.
True. Oh, but I laughed so hard. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good time. We had a good time yesterday.
It was. It was a fun time, yeah.
I'm never taking you to Menards ever again.
Why?
You're like a 5-year-old.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're kind of off topic here on the
Yeah, maybe we should move on to
discussion.
fourth segment.
This is the fourth segment.
Oh yeah. All right, end of the video. No need to go into any descriptions on yesterday.
Basically, we talked about Will. Apparently, Will still does make random noises. God
Does he
bless
really?
him. We asked him this yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I told him it's like, Phil's like you, but minus the noises. And he's like, but I'm like, that was you several years ago. Now you don't make so many noises and you're not so crazy. He's like, oh no, I still make noises. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah, that's all right.
Your poor girlfriend. God bless her. Oh no. Oh no. Anyways, I'd like to go watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New podcast every other Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. And good night.
Good night.